desmadre, no es así, puro party, somos de aquí, vamos a darle, aquí nomás, con mis compas, no es más, pinche desmadre, no es así.
Welcome to another episode of Bayou Beat Podcast. Your host, David Aleman. This particular episode, we shot it in location at Banger on the Hanger with Piñata Protest. I was able to get Alvaro and lovely Keli to talk to us for a while. So that's going to be coming up here in a little bit. My special thanks to Masaya. He helped out to get it done on location, brought the camera, some sound equipment. Sarah was helping us out. Thank you to Sarah. DG, aka Mosh Pit, also helped us out with some videos, some social media pictures, and all that. Chris Garcia, aka Donut, he was very generous in helping us out. He had his funnel cake stand out there and had great lighting, so we used that for lighting. Shout out to Chris Garcia. And you can find him, and he's at Ojimon pretty often, and he got great wares out there, great donuts and funnel cakes and all that. With the Catastrophics, we got a few gigs coming out early in January. We're going to be playing the Flamingo Cantina in Austin, January 5th. And then San Antonio, details are still pending for January 6th. And then January 7th, that's a Sunday, we'll be playing at Ojimon with Los Curados and Fusca. That's going to be a great show. So y'all can check that out. And then January 17th with Mustard Plug and Voodoo Glow Skulls. That's going to be an amazing show. I'm pretty sure we'll have another podcast before that, and we'll give some more details about that. We have some upcoming guests. Trying to get Opie Hendricks in here after the holidays. That's going to be real exciting. He's at Moe's Irish Pub December 22nd. Ian Sarola from Septic. He's got a tour coming out. Going to be going all over in January. So he's going to be coming in after the New Year, after the holidays as well. So we could talk about that. And Joey Molina. He's got an event, the Noise for Toys. It's going to be at the compound. That's tomorrow, December 9th, raising toys for kids. That's going to be a great benefit. So if anybody has a chance to catch that between now and the time that it comes out, and then that'll be great. And then also special thanks to On It Productions for hosting as usual here with the studio, the lighting and everything. So lots of thanks for that. So without further ado, here's the podcast with Piñata Protest, Alvaro, and the lovely Keli. So enjoy. Thank you. We're here at the Banger on the Hanger with Alvaro Del Norte, Piñata Protest, San Antonio, and lovely Keli. And they're on tour. I just got back from Germany. Brownsville tomorrow, Austin yesterday. Just that road life.
Right on.
Road life, rock and roll. Yeah. And we were just talking about how, so I'm from Houston, but my family's from Monterrey, Tamaulipas, Reynosa. And one thing that I always loved about being a Mexican American is that I could listen to all kind of American music, you know, jazz, rock, blues, soul, all that. But I also know Juan Gabriel. I also know Vicente. I also know, you know, Leo Dan or, you know, David Lee Garza. And so being from Texas, there's just all this influence from all this different music. And that's one thing that I really love about your music and that you display in your music. There's some of your songs that have Zydeco, I heard, you know, some reggae, some ska, you have some, you know, but then also all this punk rock. So, you know, your band, you started in 2006. Did you start it in San Antonio?
Yeah, started San Antonio all those years ago. And yeah, the influence is a very much a Texas flavors, you know, all the flavors of Texas.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm glad you mentioned the Zydeco stuff because that's definitely in there too. It's, you know, it gets forgotten within the world of Tejano and country, right? But it's there, man. We're just a taste of all the flavors that Texas has to offer.
Right. Yeah. So, but then you also have all this punk influence. Like, where did that come from?
The punk influence came from being an angry teenager, you know, growing up and getting into punk rock. Uh, you know, when I was growing up, and you know, I loved the energy, and I thought it'd be fun to mix it up with more traditional music.
Yeah. Did you ever do you play guitar or anything like that? You ever play guitar also?
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Before I played accordion, I played guitar. I played bass for several bands. I even played bass for a Tejano band, and that's kind of like where I got started with that. But when it came time to form Piñata Protest, um, I couldn't find an accordion player, right? That was like young, that was like open-minded to the idea. Um, and so I said, you know what? I'm just gonna have to learn myself. And here we are. Same thing with singing too. I didn't even plan on singing. You know, I never sang in my life. Um, so I had to start singing too.
yeah.
So, you know, because I wanted a singer that could sing in Spanish and English. You know, and yeah, sometimes you just gotta do it yourself, DIY style.
So like you really had it in you that you wanted to be in a band. You were gonna make it happen. If nobody else was gonna do it, you were gonna do it. You're still doing it today. Like there's something in you that you were like, I want to be in a band. Like, did you have that for a long time or?
Yeah, well, honestly, like, you know, only more recently did we become a full-time band. Now I'm just doing music full-time, which is nice. But, you know, for all those years, I was working regular jobs and, you know, doing this and that, and that was great, you know. But more recently, the band has been picking up. We've been getting offers to be on the road more, and yeah, we're taking full advantage. It's a lot of fun. Um, it's a lot of hard work though.
Yeah.
You know, like right now we're in the middle of a tour, and it's been really hectic. Our van got stuck in the Houston swampland. We had to get 6 dudes to come help us get the van out of the mud, but it was cool. But you know, it's a lot of fun. We get to be at festivals like this one.
Yeah.
You know, Banger in the Hangar, and we're just chilling. We're having a good time and just enjoying life.
Is this the biggest tour that you have done? This one that you're doing right now? No.
No, it's I think the longest one because we were in Germany for 2 weeks, and then we came back home. Had 2 days to get back on the road, and yeah, now we're doing this tour. Altogether, it's like 2 months, 30 days, 2 months. Yeah.
So the end of December or it's halfway through December.
In the
something?
middle, yeah. So the longest before we done was a month straight, and that was cool. But this is the longest one, for sure. Not the biggest, but the longest. So.
So let me ask you, what do you think? Say like somebody's a young person, they're wanting to get into music, they want to do a band, they want to get into a band. You know, what's one of the things that you think would be very beneficial for them to understand about being able to have the longevity that you're doing, but also kind of pick up a lot of these shows, the success and the stuff that you know that y'all are having.
I would say number one, and do it because you actually love it, and you know, even if you don't get to do it full time, you know, just do it for fun. You know, I still be playing music if I wasn't doing it full time. You know, I'd still definitely be playing in bands on the weekends. Like I love it. You know, I love playing music. I like creating music. It's a lot of fun. But as far as like advice, the best thing I can say is be true to yourself. You know, for me, I think it was really easy to kind of reflect and be like, who am I as a person, you know, as an artist? And for me, that was, you know, I feel like I live between two worlds of, you know, I'm from Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas originally, grew up really traditionally Mexican, hablando español, todo eso. But also I grew up in the United States, right?
Right.
So for me, like, that was kind of like what I have to say as an artist, you know, like, who am I? Like, you know, and all the experiences, you know, growing up, struggling, being poor, having the migra come after you and your family, all that stuff. You know, Keli too, like, you know, she grew up in very similar situation with her family. And I think as an artist, you have to figure out who you are, like number one, you know, and I think that everybody has something unique to say, something unique to share. You just got to find out exactly what that is, you know, and, you know, just tell your story. And you got to be true to yourself, because you can't be out here trying to be like, trying to fake it, because
Right.
people figure you out like real fast. Like, you know, you ain't really that, you know, like if I try to be like a gangster rapper, like, like I
Right.
gonna fly, you know, as cool as it is, you know, I can't do that, you know.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, just be true to yourself, follow your heart, and just keep work hard. Like, not even work hard, but just, you know, have fun, man.
Yeah.
Have fun. If you're having fun, the crowd's gonna have fun. So, you know, for real,
Yeah.
that's get that emotion through. You know, whatever it is.
I noticed that, man. Like most of the time, whenever I've like seen you off of the stage, you're like mostly like a really chill dude. But man, you get on stage and you're just like, bam, you know, just explosion of energy, and it translates, you know, and you're like, yeah, it looks like you're having a blast, and everybody in the band, and you know, it transmits to the audience.
Yeah.
At that show at Last Concert Cafe, at one point I went to the restroom, and there was these two like these white guys that were in there, and they're like, I never thought that I was gonna like have so much fun jamming to an accordion in my life.
Nice.
Like, what the hell? Those guys really stole the show, is what they said, you know. And you know, it's very interesting because, like you said, you're being true to yourself. You're going your own way. You're incorporating the accordion, you know, into it. And most people, it wouldn't make sense to them. But then, you know, then you hear it and you're like, wow, you know. And we played a show in San Antonio a couple weeks ago. There's a big mural of you. Like, we had this Airbnb. We went around the block. There's this big mural of you, you know, and it makes perfect sense because San Antonio is such a Hispanic town. They really embrace the culture, you know, and you know, it makes total sense that, you know, you come out of there and you embrace it and they embrace it, and you know, we have this this connection with all of those things that, you know, that makes us, you know, Chicanos or Mexican Americans, or, you know, and you're able to put all of that in there. So this tour in Germany, or like all of these shows that you've played, you know, I'm sure you've had a lot of crazy stuff happen. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time. You know, like, you know, what are some of the, you know, maybe funniest or craziest things that have happened so far in this tour, or, you know, Germany and all that?
Oh man, I don't know. There's a lot of things. I don't know. I think some of the most memorable stuff. What do you think? Something we could share on.
You know, honestly, like just growing up, like brown kids, poor brown kids from the barrio. Like, we never fucking thought that we were gonna tour Germany or that we would be on the road, right? Like, a lot of the people we grew up with, they ended up in gangs, in prisons, or, you know, with a bunch of kids. And so, you know, it's just really cool to be poor brown kids that are able to take our música tradicional, mix it with the music we like, punk and rock, and, you know, tour the world.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like he was saying, we grew up poor. My dad picked grapes. And it's just, you know, for advice for like younger musicians and shit, like, yo, if you're brown or you're black or you're a person of color, like, man, you gotta play the music. Cause there were no bands when we were growing up that were brown like us, that listen to the same, right? We were just talking about that. Like, we listened to Vicente Fernandez, Los Tigres del Norte, Juan Gabriel, but we also fucking love the Ramones, right? And Los Crudos. And so it's really important, right, that we take up space in those scenes, especially in cities like San Antonio where it's 70% Latino.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this, dude, Germany it was crazy in Germany. We rented this like super fancy Mercedes van, but it had the worst steering ever. And all the streets in Europe are like this big. So there was a lot of like, cut the wheel. Oh, we're not going to make it. Turn around. Like, he drove on a fucking train track that we weren't supposed to be driving on, like in the middle of the night in this town in Germany that looks like a storybook.
Yeah.
And we're just like, fuck it, just go straight. Like, we're already in the middle of it. So just like a lot of that.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
It's like an
but
adventure.
I gotta say, like, we're always tired.
Yeah.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We gotta load the van,
Yeah.
and then we get stuck in the mud, or we take a wrong turn in Germany, and we're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But it's lots of fun.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just kind of how it is with anything. Like, nothing's ever gonna be perfect. You know, you always imagine it to be a certain way. It's never like that. You know, you just roll with the punches, and and that's been my experience too. It's like, just go, do it, see how it is like, and then just roll with it and have fun with it. Also, so you have this other band that you have going on. Los Callejeros de Sananto.
Yeah,
Los
Los Callejeros de San Anto.
Yeah, and to me that blows my mind because I'm like, you're already in this band, you're already like touring constantly, and then you're also mixing it up with these other dates. I mean, obviously you have such a love for music that you want to be playing it all the time. But that's more of like a local thing that you're doing.
Yeah,
a little bit about.
that's Los Callejeros de San Anto is a cover band, and we just play classic Tejano, Norteño, cumbia, country, oldies, stuff like that. And we mostly just do we play venues like bars and quinceañeras, festivals, and it's cool, like because basically, it's kind of like when we're not touring with that band, we're at home with that band, still making money to make ends meet.
Something different.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can't have another band like this back home, and you gotta have them be different. But also, at the same time, it's cool because we get to play all the music that we grew up listening to. All the songs that really inspired Piñata Protest, a lot of Ramon Ayala, Tigres del Norte for sure. I love that music, and it's fun to play it, a challenge to play it right, and it's a lot harder to play in that band, I'll say, because like you think like Tejano's just like easy, like bump. Nah, it's
Tejano's a lot of jazz involved.
Sure, yeah. The chords are more complex. The singing, you got to actually sing, not just be like rah, 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 yeah, man, and it's another sort of performance. But I love it, and the guys love it. And, we get to be better musicians also at the end of the day because we're just playing all the time. So I'm not saying we're good musicians, but we're better musicians.
Yeah. And, and it keeps you sharp and you keep, it's always good to do other things sometimes and take a break, especially after long tour and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. You played with a lot of different bands. You played with Ramon Ayala before.
Yeah, we shared a show together. Yeah,
shared a show, and also Motley. There's a lot of these other bands.
Molotov.
Yeah. Isn't that exciting? Like to be able to work with these people that you like look up to and be able to jam with them and all of that stuff.
I was fangirling out over El Gran Silencio.
Yeah, Gran Silencio. Yeah.
Growing up brown, like I said, there aren't many bands, and we did a really cool thing. Piñata Protest is all about keeping cultura alive, but making it accessible to young people.
Yeah.
And for Gran Silencio, during La Cucaracha, I put on like a traditional ballet folklorico dance.
Yeah.
And we got to do that. And the guys from Gran Silencio thought it was pretty cool.
They put on a great show.
Because, like I said, I was really into them growing up.
Yeah.
So it was cool to be able to like, oh shit, like share the stage with a band that, in high school was like on repeat. So.
That is cool, right?
Too, right? Like these are these huge bands that come out of Mexico at a time when the U.S. all the bands were like white, with the exception of maybe like Rage Against the Machine, right? But they were kind of like the same age, so it's really cool to play with like Molotov and have this moment of like, oh shit,
yeah,
like you used to be on repeat when I was in like high school.
Yeah, it's like whenever I was a kid, I would listen to that and dream and be like, maybe one day, and then like, oh my God, here we are,
Yeah, like I remember being a kid and like, going to festivals and seeing them like on this huge stage, and I had like the super cheap ticket, and then I was like, hola, yo soy Keli. It's Molotov, right? Or Gran Silencio. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah. I hear some Molotov influence in some of your songs too, like and they do also have that punk influence definitely and all of that, and yeah, I mean that's really exciting too, and yeah, I was looking at a bunch of the stuff that that y'all have done, and that's the thing. Sometimes it gets really tough. You're like because I mean the thing about like touring and shows is that it's always fun at first for a while, but and then whenever it's like a job and it's like 2 in the morning and you got to load and you're tired and and all of that. But then you have those moments where you're like, oh wow, like we're in Germany, look at that building, or oh my God, we're playing, and then it just kind of like, it makes it all worth it, sort of, and then also with fans really like your music and.
Yeah. I've had a lot of jobs. Kelly has had a lot of jobs too. Um, you know, um, the last job I had, I was a teacher, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And for me, it was really good money.
You were a teacher?
Yeah.
What the heck? What kind of teacher?
School.
You were a middle school teacher.
Science.
No,
What?
social
Oh
social
my God,
studies
social studies.
Ah,
and
social
history. Yeah.
studies. Oh, nice.
At
Okay.
a dual language school. It was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Um, but
Now you have a second life. You know.
Yeah, I had to make a tough call. I was like, do I want to do this the rest of my life, or do you want to try and do this? And yeah, music. There's no. I mean, it's. I don't want to say job, but everything has its ups and downs for sure, man. Like whatever you're doing in life. Um, but I think I like the adventure, of the music life. I really do. It's a lot of fun, and there's always like the unknown, you know, like I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, and that's kind of exciting,
Right.
I
It's
like
not
that.
like where every day's the same. Every day's
Yeah.
completely different.
Which is nice for some people that like that. Every day is the same, and that's cool, and I get it, because I like, when I was, I like that idea of like, oh,
Routine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's exciting, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll have routines when we're old or when we're dead. So,
That's it, man. You got to live the adventure while you can, and
yeah,
ride it out. And
for sure.
so, how did you get started? Like, okay, so you started guitar, punk bands. That's really how you started.
Yeah, right. As soon as I got into punk rock, I decided that I wanted to learn how to play guitar, and
How old were you?
I was 16,
Yeah.
and luckily I had a friend that was a really good guitar player, and he got me started. Um, and yeah, I just went from there and played in several bands, including a Christian rock band. That was fun.
Yeah.
But the thing that was missing, and I think the thing that led to Piñata Protest forming, was the fact that all those bands, we sounded like somebody else, and people would say, "Hey man, great show. You remind me of this band or this band or this band," and it used to really bug me. Man. It used to really bug me. So that was kind of like one of the reasons that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something different. And then I kind of like did some soul searching, and the idea that I came up with would be original, would be mixing all the Mexican music I grew up with punk rock. And that's how that came about. At the same time too, like I wasn't even like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna just do this for so
Yeah.
many years later. Honestly, I just wanted to have fun. I was like, I want to play music. If I'm gonna play music, I'm gonna have fun, right? Like that's really it. I'm not gonna try to be. I definitely wasn't gonna try to be like, being a big band or be famous, but I just didn't want to be stuck playing boring music or something that already was done. It's like you're a painter and like you're just redoing somebody else's style,
Right.
Why do that?
Yeah.
Come up with your own style. I mean, to me, that's more exciting and explore that. So I think that's what this band is. It's just us exploring these new sounds, and experimenting, and that to me is fun. And as a creative person, uh, you know, I think that's the best thing you can do.
Do you write all your own music?
Yeah.
You write
Oh,
all the music for
we got-
Piñata Protest?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say
Very
for the
good.
covers, yeah, it's me, and then the band helps out for sure. You know,
Yeah.
everybody pitches in. Even Kelly helped write the lyrics for one of our recent songs. So everybody pitches in, you know. But yeah, I think for the most part, everything's
You've been with the same
Myself.
lineup for 10 years now?
for about 6 years.
About 6 years?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, that's part of it too, right? Everybody getting along and everybody vibing and all of that kind of stuff.
yeah, for sure. You know, we've had pretty much the same lineup for a while. It did start with a totally different lineup for sure. You know, people come and go. People have families or kids, or people decide that they don't want to be stuck in a van for 8 hours a day. You know, I get it.
For
It's
3
cool.
months.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Well, whatever.
It's not for everybody. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not. But you know, I'm really happy with the crew that we got right now. Uh, Everybody's a really amazing person, amazing musician. Everybody contributes. Um, it's a lot of fun just to be on the road because you gotta love. You guys spend so much time together, man. Like
Yeah.
on the road. Oh my God. Um, yeah, you gotta get along. That's
It's like another family, you know.
Yeah,
You're just with them
exactly.
all the time.
and in a way, like I feel like we know each other better than our own even friends back home because
Yeah.
we spend so much time together on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets annoying sometimes too, but
Yeah.
not you.
Just like everything.
Yeah.
But y'all got Brownsville, y'all going to Florida,
The whole country.
the whole country. Y'all going to Brooklyn, yeah, Boston.
San Francisco, Las Vegas.
And,
Whole fucking country.
and that's so amazing because y'all decided to come up with his own thing, with his own music. It's in Spanglish. You're doing it by your own rules, the way you want to do it. And somehow people in Germany are feeling it. You know, and that's so amazing because you didn't sell out. You're not like, let me try to make something that they might like. Let me do what I like. And then somehow people in Germany get it. You know, you did a tour in Spain also, you know, a couple of other spots, you know, and all over the country, you know, and I think that's part of it. Like when it's real and they could tell and it's original, you know, people respond to it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Germany was for me it was very meaningful because of course obviously the roots of Tejano have its roots in German polka, Bavarian music, and we were there, and every night I would say, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm playing the accordion up here, and if you know anything about the history of Texas, is that German people were brought here to help settle, after Texas became independent, and they brought their culture, their accordions, their music with them, and the local Tejanos picked it up, right, and they made it conjunto, right, and norteño, and now we're doing something else with it, and so that was really meaningful for us, especially for me being the accordion player, to be playing over there.
Yeah.
And people got it, people were like, a lot of people didn't even know that actually, that story, but they're very grateful for us sharing that, on stage. That was a lot of fun.
It's like you took their culture, did something with it, and then brought it back to them.
And we fucked it up.
Yeah, man.
No, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Man.
And they're appreciative. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Well, dude, you're living the dream, honestly, man. Like, who wouldn't want to travel to Europe and all through America and all of this, California, and everywhere you go, I see some of the posts you make. People respond. It's packed. The people are having so much fun, and and that's really what it's about. And that's awesome, man. You're like a really creative person. You came up with something really creative, and people in San Antonio, they love you. They're proud of you, people. And as Mexican Americans, Chicanos, same thing, man. Like it's awesome, and it's great to be able to talk to you and listen to your music, and appreciate your time. And man, I hope they have a freaking amazing rest of your tour, man.
thank you. Thank you for having us, being part of this
Awesome,
interview, part of your show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and thank you for meeting us out here
Cold.
in the cold.
Awesome, man.
But we made it work.
Yes, we did, man. Awesome, man. Well, that's another episode of Bayou Beat Podcast. Thank y'all for checking it out, and we'll put some tour dates and stuff so y'all could follow them, some links, and check it out. You know, they got all their music up on all the media platforms, and you know, if they're in a city near you, go check them out. Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome, bro. Thank you, man.